like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming? Or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, that when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okay, we are alive and full of static electricity, so my hair is more like a sculpture than hair today. Okay, so I was going to just sit down and play with this for a little while because tomorrow is Creative Circle, and the woman who gave this to me is part of that Creative Circle, and she just offered to make the baked goods for our circle, which I was getting ready to do, so she just saved me time. So I am going to start this, but when I went to get all the stuff I need, I realized I have a collection of stuff now, and I've just begun this hobby. So I needed to get organized because I'm not going to be walking around like this. And my big interest is actually wet felting. Today, though, we're going to start some needle felting, which is actually what I thought I was going to be doing in the beginning. I thought, this is great. I want to try this. And then my friend went and took a class in it, and she enjoyed it. And I got all excited. You show me what you did. Show me how to do it. But then when I went looking online for instruction for my own, I discovered wet felting, and that put my excitement through the darn roof. I have got to start on that really soon. But that is a sloppier process, and you really need to focus on it. You can't just walk away from it. Now, needle felting, you can just put it down and walk away for days or years, as with some hobbies. But the water felting, you really need to, I think, stay on top of it, at least till it gets to a certain point, and then you can come back and do more, I guess. But I'm studying all of these videos. There's a lot to learn, even though it's really a simple process. So as soon as I saw the wet felting, and I mean, I already knew I was going to be using this. I didn't even know about wet felting until trying to get more lessons on dry needle felting. Needle felting was already going to be a skill that I had for Nomaris, because one of my characters in book 3 is going to need a trade, which so far no one has had to deal with on a proactive level. Pretty much on Nomaris, you're born into lots of options and all that. So you know what you're going to be doing. Like if on the mainland of Nomaris, one of the biggest industries is pottery. And it's not like an industry like we have here. It's not building factories. It's all about the handwork, and people trade, and broken pottery becomes mosaics. So Nomaris is a very colorful planet. However, you need to wear things and carry things. So we have other crafts, basically everything it takes to create a civilization from the ground up. There are people who do weaving and make ropes and bridges out of ropes and such like that. There's those who grow things, excuse me, and make things out of that, and also lots of foods. So I have a lot of stuff already going on. But when you're building a planet, really, you're not going to think of everything right off the bat, no matter how many books you've read. It's something that is a process. In the first novel, I think, although I love my first novel, of course, and I'm really grateful that a lot of people got to read it before it got screwed up, and they really enjoyed it. So, but in honest, as a writer, going back over my book, I had to see there was a couple of spots where it's like, this is too slow. I'm thinking kind of like movie timing, where you need to see things, and you don't want to sit there explaining things. You have to show by action. So there are a couple of places in the first book I would probably, if I was starting all over, I'd change up a little bit. In fact, when I redid it, I did get rid of one entire paragraph and just eliminated a little scene, and it was the only change I made before I updated my copyright. So you have to wait for this till there's a reason to bring up something. So in book 3, we've got a character who ends up accidentally attracted to the island of Gazebo on Nomaris, and that's very different from the rest of the planet. So it's got its own rules, which can be crazy making. So here this guy lands, but he's from England. His job was accountant, and he was brought up by an extremely backward, bitter little angry, religious, fanatical mother. All that matters later on in the story. But he ends up on Nomaris, and as soon, after a bit, they discover him. Like, what the hell are we going to do with him? He doesn't speak the language, and we can't see, we don't have any need for accounting, whatever that might be. So we don't know what to do with this guy, and so they start bringing him around the island and introducing him to the different trades all over the island, because like the glass makers live right on the edge of the island, near the water, because they collect a lot of silica, sand, and shells for coloring their glass. Now we've got boat makers. They are fisher people, and they also have part of the island seems to sink a lot and then rise again. So that's kind of a houseboat community on that side of the island. So it's a very strange island, like has a mind of its own, because it's under a magical a conglomeration of magical shields, and nobody knows how to remove them, so they've just created a kind of a magical chaos on the island. So no magic users, even though it was developed by magic users illegally, they have created a situation where you can't use magic on the island because it ricochets like crazy. And it's also created a different rate and style of evolution for everybody on that island. Since a lot of them came originally from Earth, they were kind of whisked away during a period of Nomaris when there were these portals that actually belonged to a different planet entirely. But the wizards figured out how to use them, and they traveled, and mostly they traveled to Earth. A gnat just flew out and dropped dead in my tea. I find that gross. I'm not going to sit here watching my TV polluted. Well, I'm going to guess tea is not on my menu today. I've had a problem with tea all day. Anyway, so one of the trades I've decided on was felting, because we have animals that they harvest the wool from, and they make things out of it. It's a very, very peaceful island. Everything they do there is peaceful. But anyway, this poor guy who doesn't know the language or know how to do anything that they do on Gazebo has to be basically exposed to all of the different things. And since one of them is going to be felting, I thought I need to do it, because how else can I really relate to the intricacies of creating anything if I don't try it myself? So that's on the agenda. And when I realized how much stuff I have already accumulated before I even start my first project, I realized actually the first step is, because I hate disorganization, is to find something to put everything in together so I can keep track of it, and also not load my shelves up with bags that are just going to keep sliding off. And I found something. I owe this to a dog. When I lived in Pennsylvania, I took care of my landlady's 2 dogs. One of them had this penchant for rooting through her closet to nest in her many handbags. She was kind of addicted to pocketbooks and some shoes, but mostly pocketbooks. She had a literal mountain in her walk-in closet of just bags of all kinds. So I took 2 of them off her hands. She offered which ones to choose from. It's like, well, you know what? I could probably find a reason for this. As it turned out, the reason was an overnight in the hospital, but it came in handy. And another thing is a laptop carrying case with handles, and it's kind of glitzy. So now that's my coloring circle bag, and now we're going to make a wool bag for felting. And as it turns out, I didn't realize what this bag was capable of. First of all, the zipper. It opens up. No, I don't want to spill anything here. It opens up way over, right? All the way down. So this I can make to lie flat if I need to, which I don't. But I guess it's handy for packing. One thing that makes 0 sense, though, to me, but I'm not a traveler, so I don't know, maybe I'll have to pick that up. We've got a zipper here, but if I unzip this on the bottom, this just goes all the way through. There's like, well, why would I want that? So we're just going to use that for something like this. Now, see, that's what I mean. Everything is just going to fall all over the place if I don't get everything under control right away. So I've already got to pick up some stuff from the floor. Excuse me. Because I left this open. But we're going to take everything out of this so that I can put these things in the rightful places now. Now, one of the things I don't have and might end up getting is this cool wooden thing. It's kind of like a wooden iron. On the bottom, it's textured, and the top is a handle, so you can rub it over your felting cloth. This is what goes over the wool when you are going to wet it and start moving the fibers around. So we're going to pack that because we don't need that today. Now, when I was looking online for more lessons, I came across a felting studio. I don't know where they're actually located, so I didn't buy anything. I like to know where they are because I'd like to go in person and support local people. I found a wool place not far from here, so I don't have to buy anything online. Okay, so instructions. We're not going to need those. A block to work on. I think my new kit also comes with one. Templates in case I want to make little teeny shapes. So I guess we can put that in here too, because I can't imagine using this right now. But it will probably come in handy. There's a few of them. 4 templates. It's cool. Alright, so these are just the colors. We're going to put them back in the bag. Now this does not look like much, but it's surprising how much you can get out of one little bit of this. I forget how many grams it is. I could always put it on a scale, but when you pull it apart, the idea is to make it as thin as possible. So you're just putting a little fiber down, and you build up the layers of fiber very slowly so you don't make it too thick. And then when you're working it, they move together. They basically weave themselves into a mat, and that's felting in a nutshell. Okay, so we have also, I bought these for doing needle work, and it turns out after taking one out and playing with it, it's like, this is really tiny. I think it's too small. So it's cool that these are for a bunch of different things. Non-stick, jeans, and universal. Well, I don't know. The sizes don't look that different to me. But they are dangerous if they ever get loose. So we're going to put them in our little kit. Now, the importance of this is before I start working on the project, I will be needing those. So we're just going to stick that in there. We're going to need this. We'll take a look at the needle that they offer before I do anything else. Okay, so we've got some of this wool. We've got more wool. Now this is wool that I got, and I've got my little thumb protector here, the thimble. This is good if you're working very, very tiny, but those leather things are going to help me, right? So I'm not going to need that too much. I might just go a bit and put that back in my sewing kit. Okay, I believe this kit, yes, this kit includes a little block, what I'll need, the instructions, and a stand to put the finished product in to make it look like a little plant. So this is what we're going to be starting today. And that's cool. We can use any of these. This is bigger. I might go with that. We'll try both and see what it feels like. Now I can get this off my desk. It's just more things taking up room. Okay, why the bubble wrap? You build up the wool on top of bubble wrap, and it happens to be small bubble wrap that you're looking for. And I had this, I saved these pieces, so I'll cut it and open it up and I'll have just the right size. And this is, I saved this in case I wanted to work on a miniature thing, and I still might, so we're going to keep that. Now, one of the interesting things they use are rollers, because one of the stages working with felt, wet felting, is you have to roll it. Some people use pool noodles, and I don't have a pool noodle, but you can also use a rolling pin, towels, bamboo. So we'll see what I've got when the time comes. I mean, I already know I have a rolling pin. So, all right, so instructions that I'm not ready to use, just put in there. Is there anything else we need? Well, we'll try these, but in the meantime, let's get this put back together again. We won't have to explore it this deeply again. It has more pockets on the sides. It has pockets on the outside. This is just a nook and cranny thing. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is antique silk. This was a scarf of mine that I got from an antique shop. Oh goodness, about 50 years ago. And it was an antique when I bought it. It's the silk is so fragile now. I couldn't get rid of it though, because, well, it's just an awesome piece of silk. Well, it turns out this is really good for starting or using with wet felting. So now I've got something to start with. Excuse me.
I'm back.
Oh, the rest of the medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. It turned out it was the missing pills from one of my prescriptions. Okay, so we have a place for paperwork. When we're done messing with this, I can pack that in there as well. Now this is one of my favorite needles, but I need to make a little safety for this, which actually one of the best things I have found is that stretchy bandage stuff, because you can wrap it around, it sticks to itself, and it makes an automatic little holster. I do that for my scissors. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to need that. This comes with their needle. I can do way better than that in terms of getting a match, but thank you anyway. And this, so let's take a look at this. Okay, what's different about these needles? First of all, they are triangular in shape. They're very sharp, and they have little burrs that have been made intentionally, because what this does is when you poke it, it's catching onto the fibers, which have their own texture, and it pushes it into itself. So one of the important things about felting with a needle is making sure that the needle goes out the same way it went in, that you don't start, doing angular things unless that's what you are going to stick with. So I have a feeling that this is going to be kind of useless. Well, that'll work, okay. Then we will hold on to that little thing. And this is interesting. Now, I have not seen how this is actually used. I don't know at all what to do with this. If like this come out, oh, I guess it does. Ah, so let me take a guess. Is that the correct way? I don't know. There's got to be something that makes sense. It seems to me that this should sit in it, right? Nope. Okay, I know this is logical. I guess that's it. Now I've got to go and look online and see if I can find anybody using a tool like this. So is this more comfortable than the purple handled one? And can I get this out of my way now? Let's find out. I'm gonna say this might feel a little bit better in the hand. We'll try both though. With these on the fingers first. We're gonna try both of these. Now, first, one must line things up. Now, this is gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, like so. The little leaves, that's the size. So we do the leaves, the petals, one at a time, and then put them together. All right, well, let's see. Tear off small wisps of violet and light mauve. Nope, first the green. Working with a piece from set A. That's this. This one's 5 pieces of green wool roving is what that is. Check that out. You want this to be thin. All right, we need 5 pieces of the largest size. Now this is carded wool. That means it's been taken off the sheep or alpaca or whatever. And then it is literally drawn through cards of nails. They look like nails. And it just finally turns everything into strands that you can then peel off the carding cards. You have to look that up if you want to know more. So we need 5 that are 3 by 3 inches. I guess in this case, we're cutting them instead of pulling them off. Three. Just a little, not barely, okay. But let's go ahead and do these. And 3. 4. 5. Okay, put you over there. So this is the biggest one. And each one is going to become one of those, huh? All right. Let's see. Working with a piece from set 8, fold the top and bottom edges toward the center and begin needling to form a leaf shape. But make sure it's the right size, which would be here. So let's see. I'm gonna start folding. Okay. And the needle. Oh, here we go. Let's try the one that they gave us. Yeah, you can see why people get stuck. Huh? Well, working on this foam, it does, at least it sticks to it, and that definitely is an assist. If I was trying to do this on something else, it'd just be making air. My inclination is to cut this out. Now, when I watched somebody doing this, it wasn't on doing anything large. They were doing teeny weeny birds for the Audubon show. They were so cute. So she wasn't working fast like this, and she was using, she wasn't using these, she was using thimbles. A little stronger, I guess, but also you can slide off them. Okay, but we pull you out. We need to make sure we're going in the right direction here. I kind of like that it gets stuck to this foam. I'll have to see if it works on that foam as well. Now I can see making one. I don't know if I'm going to make all of them match. You know what? It's on the other side. Nothing I can't live without. There. Oh. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the whole damn thing out. Since this is my first project. Now I know the end is remaining ragged, so it can all be needled together. We don't want that getting lost in my lap, do we? Now my friends did a penguin at the class they did. It was adorable. Came with little eyes you could stick in a little scarf. And they did it in 3 hours. So I thought, not bad. We are not going to be here for the next 3 hours, I assure you. Especially because right now I'm completely by myself. And I'm talking to the camera. So you roll it onto itself and then stab it until it stays. Now we'll have 2 more colors going on that. Pink and light lavender. Or is it? Yep, a wisp of violet and light mauve. That's the. That's violet. That's light mauve? I would have guessed it was pink. Okay. Call it whatever you want. Well, maybe this is supposed to roll up and double back up. Well, I can see where this would be extremely boring. I don't expect an audience. Unless you're just here for background noise. I like listening to subliminal suggestions while I'm working. which I can't do right now, of course, because we're streaming. Now, let's see. Let's go that far. Okay. So some cute things made out of scrap felt. In fact, there's one website that shows how to make cool scrap felt, so you can use that to decorate your other projects. Now I'm gonna guess a lot of scrap felt stuff starts from your first attempts at felting. Did not yield exactly what you hoped for. Okay, we have I happen to make this a little thicker, so I don't know if you're supposed to do it this way. We'll try it another way as well. But what we're gonna do, come on. You want a bit of a hump for that from leaf shape. If you've ever grown them, you know what I mean. Okay, leave that ragged end. Now, we need a teeny wisp of this, huh? And on the violet. So, one before the other. Alright, I'll just need practice pulling this apart anyway. Gently needle. Gently needle, huh? Don't get too savage. Get on there. I loved seeing needle felting on top of wet felting. It's very pretty, and you get so many different effects, you know, just like two different techniques. And of course, depending on the fibers you add to the wool, viscose strands are just gorgeous. Okay, interesting. So I want to kind of get a wispy color. Definitely takes practice. And a feel for the way things are shaded in real life. Yeah, we'll hint of that pink down here. Well, overall, I have to say that with this kind of a sponge behind it and the larger needle, I tried this with a tiny needle. It was just annoying. In fact, with the tiny needle, I just kind of made this bit of wool more condensed, just like I wanted to make a little body or a head of a bunny kind of a thing. So this was my actual first practice piece. Now, a properly felted or knitted, or felted, whether you use the wet method or this, is after you're done, to see if it lifts up. It should not. Now today I learned giving it a bath in very warm water will help shrink it and make it plump up. But we're not doing anything like that until we have everything attached. Well, the pink is nice and subtle. It looks like it actually does belong there. looks like it needs the back side done too. So let's see what happens using that. Oh, so fuzzy. Now, I've seen another tool that looked like multiple needles in one holder. I like that idea. Or just doing this kind of thing. Probably a big time saver. So I will look into that. Oh, it's cute. Okay, well, there's my first one, but I don't know. I don't think it's too loose there. Yep. All right. Now, let's tighten it up. Oh, yeah. So roll it in. Maybe roll it under. Try from that side. There you go, with the finger. Now I think that's what these snips are for here. Oh, clumsy. I remember using something like this years ago. All right, we'll leave those fuzzies so we can adhere it to the next piece. Not to find enough. No, we have more work to do. I think I like this one better. Although it does really stick in there, does not. Look at that. It's already 4:45. I did start late today, didn't I? Maybe definitely could use some more definition there. Starting to plump up nicely. Alright, let's get a little bit more definition up here. And now, where's the bottom leaves? It's like sculpting one petal at a time, or one leaf at a time. Sculpting with the needle. All right. Ah. I only need 4 more like this. Well, practice makes perfect. You think? anchor point here. Stay. Move you up. Oops. Don't do that. Hello, darling. That bad, huh? The reviews are entertaining. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm glad I haven't seen it. So how are you today? Do you remember, I mean, I realize it's been 18 years or so, but do you remember when I got that gift from Hay House for the show? A box full of cards, different decks. And one of them was a deck by Deepak Chopra. And I had read something of his and I liked that. But when I got that deck, I was really put off by it. It was like, this is crap. There's not even any spiritual thought to this. This is like, who did he hire to turn this shit out? And we never used it on the show. I showed everybody the deck. I saw a couple of cards I liked, and I threw them away. I didn't want to share them with somebody. And now that we found out that Deepak Chopra was is in the Epstein files, mentioned what 3,000 times. Fuck him. I'm glad we're gone. They're going bananas over it? You mean they like it? Well, I'm glad you're good. That's a good start. Yeah, it's still early for you. It's my traditional dinner time. But I had a nice big lunch, and my snack later will be a baked potato that I already have ready to eat. Just have to heat it up and melt some cheese in it. I didn't think the right-wingers liked Star Trek because it was too woke. You know, too much diversity. Only reason Uhuru was able to be black was because she wore a miniskirt. They hate it more than anyone? Gary, hello. That's hilarious. Okay, you must know why, because like I haven't seen it, so I don't know what their foundation is for that, but they hate everything, so fuck them anyway. Oops. Whoops, I'm trying not to use the word fuck as much as usual. In case somebody under 18 sneaks in. So how's Gary? Are you typing to tell me why? I can't, unlike a chat, I can't tell if you're typing to me when there's no activity in front of my face, so you'll have to say something. I got off today on the way the British Parliament is handling their Epstein people. It's like, all right, bring it out there, guys. They're like, we cannot have this. We are not going to support a pedophile. We're not going to allow a pedophile to be in our ranks or our ambassadors. And we want to know what your vetting process was. Like, all right. They're going to nail those fuckers to the wall. No, played Animal Crossing. Got bad. Nice. Sounds like a very nice day. I've had a very relaxed day. Today was box day. I got some apples, a pineapple again. We'll try again. My last 2 pineapples were rotten. Well, the second one wasn't rotten, it just tasted like shit, so, you know. One Klingon they have in the show is... And he's trying to get in touch with his feelings. That must be, yeah, I can see where the far right that likes the Klingon attitude would be dismayed. I've got a couple pans by the heater, as long as they're not too close. You know, if you hang them up above the heater, warm air rises and you can get more of a circulation. Also, hang them upside down so that the bottoms are facing down. So you can be kind of open for the air going in. If you haven't figured that out already. Living in New England, you pick up some tricks for winter. Because a lot of that I don't have to deal with anymore. So, you know. Gotta do what you gotta do. So how did you do in Animal Crossing today? It got quite popular for a while, didn't it? Here we go again with these weird clippers. You do take care of the fuzzies. Because that's their advantage. You can do it like that across and get it nice and flat. But we're not worried too much until we have 5 of these done, and then I can make them match better. These are the rough cuts. Maybe fold it in like that, so we can make a point. Did you get a box today, Maui? We can always the first Thursday of the month. I got all excited because this time it had some chicken in it. 3 cans. So basically these boxes, they have enough food to get you through 1 week. If that's all you eat. It won't be quite enough for a week. But it does have, you know, cold cereal and shelf-stable milk. I don't use either. And, oh, today I was able to get a few cans of peaches. I love canned peaches. So that was nice. Making my little guidelines here. I think the more I do this, the more shortcuts I'll see. It's like at a hotel. Aw, how cute. So that's how you get your population. Basically treat it like a tourist industry thing for animals. I've never played, so I don't know much about it. I've seen some screens that you shared. Well, it sounds fun. Oh, we're not going out to the sides enough on that one, are we? All right. Well, we'll have a chance to fix that in just a second. Six living there. He's a young cat, Doc. They have to get the zoomies. They got to get their energy out. You got to understand, they descend from wild critters, you know. They need room. And you live in a 1-bedroom apartment. The guy's only got the hallway when you can stand there and make sure that's the only place he goes. But, you're going to see him needing to get rid of that energy around the apartment. So, yeah, he's going to be active. If you had a dog, you could take him for walks a few times a day and wear him out. With a cat, you've got to be smarter than that. How come your internet is bad? Mine has been bad on the Kindle for a couple of days, especially on YouTube. Seems almost throttled. It's been so crappy. But I figure that's just probably too much traffic, because the Epstein files have created quite a stir, have they not? Fucking Bill Gates, guilty as hell. Found out he drugged his own wife so he could administer an anti-STD prescription. Wow. Well, that's kind of silly. You have to take care of your shit. You're too old to stop being an adult. You've been getting out to your garden, haven't you? Oh, don't worry, you're black. They didn't want blacks on the island. Well, I guess, I don't know if Diddy was there, but they were very clear with Trump. Trump did not like black girls. So when they procured children for him, they couldn't be black. So I'm guessing there were very few blacks in general invited to the island. My only regret with this is that Donald Trump will not live long enough to get the jail time he frickin' deserves for what he did to children. You gotta be rich to go on that list, sweetie. You're a nobody just like me. They're not interested in us. We have nothing to offer them. Also, I'm a woman that says no. They don't want that at all. Also, I'm a woman. They don't want women. They want the children. Children that could disappear. Boys and girls. So let's not go there, because that'll make me angry. And I'm holding a sharp item. Not good to be angry when you're holding sharp things. Well, when I was sick with COVID, I was down for 6 weeks. It takes a while to bounce back and catch up with stuff. Well, again, although black was okay with Diddy, you also had to have money. So we're safe. We don't get invited to parties like that, because we're decent humans, for one thing. But also, you have to have a lot of money. They don't give a rat's ass about anybody that can't do something for them in their businesses. Period. It's a very select group. It's not enough just to be a whore, or a slut, or a gigolo. But also, you would not be on either one of those lists unless you were diddling children. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And if you do, I never want to speak to you again. Ever. I think my views on pedophilia are very well known. Yeah, I think a multi-pin one. I'm not sure if I believe anything that the whole house puts out now. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, well, why would you believe anything out of them? They're as crooked as they get. Only reason Trump supports Israel is because he wants to build in Gaza. He referred to Gaza as prime beachfront property as soon as you get rid of those Palestinians. He's got deals for that. Fuck that man. America is just one little stroke away from freedom. So let us pray for that little stroke. His, not mine. Oh my. We know what they are. They auctioned children. They killed children. They threatened them with death and their families if they told anybody about what they were doing to them. These kids have been so screwed up since they were kids. And the average age that these pedophiles are getting, 12 and 13-year-olds. 12 and 13-year-olds. Okay? That's what they're into. So if you think I'll ever buy anything Microsoft again, think again. Exactly. It's all about slavery. Exactly. When it comes to slaves, they don't have a problem with the colors. They'll take any color. Because the original slaves were actually white. They were Slavic. That's where the slave word comes from. Oh, well, now I can see a drawback to using this as a cushion. My goodness. We don't need that happening. We'll try this and see if that happens. Well, you know, we've known this has been going on for a long time. The problem has been who's going to pursue it. Because the people at the head with the capability of exposing it and pursuing it were also involved with it. So a lot of stuff that could have happened didn't happen. And now we're looking at all the damages and all of the billionaires all around the world deciding that they should come together and control the world for what's best for the world and their bottom line. So now it is way out there. We are exposing them, not just for their greed, but their attempt to rule the world. Every deal Trump has been in is dirty. They destroyed it. America was never part of that. Trump refuses to join anything. I think even, did he withdraws from the UN? He'll do anything to control this country without being interfered with by other countries. So that's part of the problem right there. He doesn't want to work with anybody. He wants to conquer. Luckily, he'll be dead soon. Hopefully before he starts another fucking war. Man is so dumb, he doesn't even know what the tests are that he's taken. Yeah, I'll know if I have to retire. I'll know. I don't need anybody to tell me. It's like, I don't know. Yesterday he was in a meeting and they had to rush everybody out of it because he shit himself. And all the reporters were in there. So they shooed all the reporters out and they show him like running. But you see the people standing behind him going, like Robert Kennedy Jr. was right behind him, and you see the face on him. Oh, and the woman right behind him, she was like, yeah, he's all right. Shits himself constantly, but he's otherwise fine. Great president. Great leader. Right now, we have traitors in the White House. Lots and lots of traitors. And they think they're not going to have to face accountability because they're planning on stealing the election. However, we're ready, and they're not going to. We have good reason to believe they stole the 2024 one. But that was not legitimate because of Elon Musk's interference. He's under investigation by France. Turning Grok into basically its own little porn hub. Oh, honey, no, he's not a demon. He is a human being. He's here just like we are. The difference is he's a narcissist, you see. He has no conscience. But because he grew up completely spoiled and with the belief that he can have and should have anything he wants, that belief is thoroughly ingrained in him. The law of attraction is working for him. It has worked all this time because of his unshakable belief that he deserves all of this. He deserves to raid our piggy bank for the federal piggy bank. He deserves the gold. He deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Come on, the guy is fucking Looney Tunes, but we have to wait for that little stroke. Now, the Epstein Files also reveals the connection between Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance. So that's going to be interesting, too. I don't know who they think that's going to want to be in the seat in the end of this year. Trump should be dead by then, or a vegetable. No, that's still too big. Because they're stupid, and look, there's a percentage of our population that wants a dictator. They are ruled by their racist feelings, all right? That's why Trump and they get along. He believes nobody should be in America unless they're white. And the people who follow him, the maggots, are racist. They're going along with him. They're cheering on ICE because they think it's going to get rid of all the non-whites, all right? That's what that's about. That's why they go for it. But look at even MTG. She sounds like a progressive Democrat right now with what she's saying. And she called out MAGA, said MAGA's a lie. Everybody was sold this bill of goods about, we're going to clean the swamp, but instead we filled the swamp. So she's got it now that she's not going to be in Congress anymore. If she wants to do us a favor, she can find out as soon as our seat's up who's running for it on the Democrat side and side with them. But some of it too, Maui, some of these people are sticking by because they're being blackmailed. That was Epstein and Trump's MO. You get the goods on people. That's also Putin's game. You get the goods on them and you hold it over their head until they give you what they want. That's why they're Kool-Aid drinkers. Because smart people don't drink the Kool-Aid. Smart people know it's bad for you. But they're not smart. They're the dumbest people I have ever encountered in my life. They don't want to hear the truth. They're not interested in the truth. That's a cult. When a person has intelligence and they're questioning things and they don't turn their leader into a god that should never be questioned, that is stupid. Smart people question reality. Smart people question if this is the right way to go or what right thing to do. Smart people don't want to see harm happen to others. These people are vengeful. They like people getting hurt. That's why we have people out there hurting people. They've been told by the courts, stop that, and they're still doing it because they feel immune. Well, we're going to be prosecuting more than a few of them. Right now, there's 2 of them that's had to come before court. Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. TV evangelists, one of the biggest pieces of shit in our country. They should have been outlawed here like they're basically outlawed everywhere else. They train people to be afraid. They train people to be fearful and give money, follow without questioning. But I'm sorry. That also appeals to the stupid, not the devout. The stupid devout. Because if you are devout to God, you know everything Trump says is wrong. You know that what ICE is doing is evil. You know this anti-Christian completely. If you're a real Christian. But if you're rooting for them, you're not a real Christian. Because Christians don't believe that way. Christians believe in helping your neighbor, welcoming the stranger. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. So they don't believe in Jesus. They just want to wave that flag. And again, evangelism has been used to control black people on plantations since forever. And that's the truth of it. Until people let go of religion long enough to see what the reality is and stop blaming God for everything that they're doing, we're just not going to get better. Oh yeah, look, when did Jesus need a jet? No, they didn't exist back when he did, but he wouldn't have wanted a jet. He got rid of the money makers in the church. He got rid of the corruption that he could see. That's what made him so angry. The corruption. So these people are just full of shit. Yes, a snake oil salesman. Exactly, going town to town, selling miracles for $1, which back then was a lot of money. Exactly. When that guy who needed 2 planes or 3 planes, needed to be faster than his competing TV evangelist, when he died, I was really gratified by how the news handled it. Well, he's dead. Yes, it does. It does. But you know what? Inherent with the Bible is built in a way to answer everybody who tries to approach it with logic. However, Monty Matter, she is a YouTuber. I have 1,000,000%, well, of course, 100% respect for that woman. She was a white nationalist, Christian white nationalist. She was basically in the cult. She grew up as evangelistic as you could possibly be. And boy, she learned. But she knows her Bible. You want to hear somebody who knows history and Bible? Talk to her. She is one smart woman. And she is sassy. And she tells it like it is. I will support her until, or if, and I don't believe she ever would, do something really weird that would make me go, oh, Maddie. Yeah, right? Exactly. It's all lies. All lies. A way to cover up the fact that they're stealing your money. Afterlife insurance. That's why I said you've got to get in touch with who you really are so you can't be taken advantage of by all of these charlatans. That's why I have never wanted a following. I never wanted to become anybody's guru. It's like, no. The best thing I can do for you is turn you on to yourself. You have to decide what you want for your life. That's not my job. But I don't want to see people being taken advantage of along the way, being told that their soul is in dire peril if they don't donate $20 right away or sign over their Social Security checks or help them buy the jet number 3. I hear that, and boy, makes me start to play with matches. But what matters, you know I say it every day, what matters is your happiness. What matters is what are you paying attention to that makes you feel better. You have to keep turning your attention to the things you desire that make you feel good, because if you don't, you're just going to keep attracting whatever pops up in your face. So like looking at the news, it's all over the place. Of course, we're not going to escape that, especially right now. But you don't have to get sucked into it. You can go through some headlines and put it away and make yourself focus on something that makes you feel good. When you do that, you raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you become open to the information that your higher self is trying to stream to you. So it's important to pay attention to your inner self. But you can't if you're busy watching everybody else and what they're doing and repeating it. And the word does not return void. This would say another way of saying don't cuss, because you know when you cuss you're putting a cuss into the world. Well, in a way you are. But the point really is about what are you talking about? Are you talking about things that are making you good and happy? And I like to look at solutions. That's one of my favorite things to do. What's the solution to this so I can focus on that and feel good? It's like I've been laughing every day. I've been laughing every day because I know, as ugly as it looks right now, when we start to turn things around, it's going to be swift and surprising. Because we're at that point of, hell no, we're not going to take this anymore. And that's a place that politicians don't want us. When we start calling them out for what they're not doing. I started watching An American in Paris again today. Gene Kelly. One of the best musicians in American history is in that. And his story is so sad because he basically went nuts. The guy was beyond creative. He played I don't know how many instruments. There's even a bit in the movie where he plays a whole bunch of instruments and conducts himself in an orchestra. Of course, you know, it's trick photography. But he really can play all those instruments. Piano, was a master. Piano, violin, drums, I forget what else. And every time I see him, I feel like, I wish I knew you, man. I wish I knew you in your day. You're so my type. A little on the goofy side. Deliciously talented. One of those geniuses who loses their mind kinds of stories. Well, so far so good with the styrofoam. I haven't needled it into the wool yet like I did with this. This pulled a whole chunk out and had to be cut out of the wool. We don't want that, which is too bad because it's a nice surface. It works up pretty fast on this. So Doc, what are you going to do the rest of the afternoon? Your day's just really getting started. It's like around lunchtime for you, yes? I think maybe a little bit more pink. All right. Need a little poof here. Yeah, with the bigger needle, this works up pretty fast. I was getting frustrated with that tiny needle the other day. From the post office, then the Walgreens, then the garden. I just got my catalog from the post office for stamps. They've got some really cool stamps available now. Although some of them, depending on the post office you go to, you're limited, of course. I have like 2 different post offices that I can get to, and they carry different stuff. So, like, I went to one and I found a couple that I wanted, but then when I wanted the Dungeons and Dragons one, I had to order it, and something else I got by mail. But the new catalog has some really cool looking ones. I'd like to order a couple of sheets before the price goes up again. Oh, hot flash. Yeah, at least your sweats ended, Maui. Mine never go away. Not even for a day. Yeah, this is, it's an interesting craft, but I don't think it's going to hold my attention as much as the wet felting. I finally did decide on my first project for wet felting. I want to make a bowl cozy. When I went to that holiday fair in December, I saw that some that were sewn. They were really pretty. Yeah, you're lucky. Mine are called night sweats, but they hit mostly when I'm just getting up in the morning, and then on and off throughout the day. It could be any time. Although anxiety will absolutely exacerbate it. It's along the same mechanism, I guess, although mine is from my blood cancer. Yeah, this pink and purple are pretty together. When I first saw that, I thought, but it works very nicely. I'm not being as artistic as I might in another project, but really I just want to get this done so I can give it away. And move on to the crafts I really want to. I was working on Nomaris 3 today, and I am really getting excited about sitting down and just hitting the keyboard. Been making all my notes and developing the story and all that in my head, but you have to have some stuff that is established before you start writing. You get hot flashes? Why do you get sweats? What's wrong with you? Maui got them because he was sick. I get them because I've got cancer. Why are you getting them? Do you get them in the night, or do you get them during the day when like you're working and then anxiety promotes them? Well, they're not identical, but we'll try and straighten that up a little bit. My blanket is warm. Oh, so basically you need a lighter blanket. All right, one more. I'm going to go ahead and do it before I break for the night. Do you have a blanket that's like microfiber? Made out of plastic, basically? Because mine is. It's super soft and fluffy, and I love it. It's real thin, but oh my God, the heat that builds up under that. We forget that what do they call it, fleece is actually plastic. It's like recycled plastic bottles. It's plastic. It holds in your heat. It doesn't breathe at all. So I have, in winter, because I need the warm, when I first go to bed, it's pretty chilly sometimes, so I have flannel sheets. So the flannel top sheet separates me and the sweat monster, but it doesn't take me more than a minute under the blankets to heat up, and I don't need any more blankets. I've been using the same blanket by itself for years now. Now, come summer, if we have a bad summer like right now, the weather is so insane. We're going to have below zero temperatures up here and snow coming in. I don't think a lot, but snow. But this other coast is going to be 88 degrees, way warmer than it's supposed to be in February. And that's dangerous to fruit trees setting buds. If it's too warm, it can harm them. So I will be purchasing a natural fiber summer blanket because I don't like just a sheet. But in the summer I switch from flannel to bamboo viscose. You know, it was a bummer to learn because I love flannel, cotton flannel. That's always been my favorite for bed covers. But it gives you wrinkles. Your skin, you don't want flannel pillowcases. And I used to love my flannel pillowcases because, oh, warm and cozy in the winter, right? And I find out, oh no, cotton, flannel, anything but silk or satin makes your skin pull when you move, and it stretches it, and it wrinkles your skin. It's like, well, a little too late for me now, but I don't want to make it worse. I wonder if we can do this all in one. Maybe this way. Let's try it. There are things that bloom during December. Oh yeah, I hate when that happens. When I lived in Pennsylvania, this would be, well, the first tree that bloomed was this gorgeous pink flowering, looked like a flowering plum. Gorgeous pink flowers, kind of like, you know, the sakura trees, the cherry blossoms, but bigger. And I could look out my window and I could see that all blooming, and then 2 years in a row, just as everything was getting ready to set fruit, we got a freeze. We got wind, and suddenly you go out there and you look, and all the flowers are on the ground in a big circle, big pink circle. It was like heartbreaking. They weren't supposed to come down that early, so. Yeah, bad weather at the wrong time destroys crops. Don't get too crazy. We need you to fold over there. Hey. Keep the fingers out of the way. It's when it blooms in early winter when they freeze. That's sad. Wind is up high today. Cool. Well, you have a good trip to the post office. I might be gone before you get back home. So see you tomorrow afternoon. I'll be back after lunch. Tomorrow is the coloring circle. I might end up sitting down there doing this instead of coloring, but actually I'm trying to get a big package together for Gloria to go into the mail with our Valentine's Day wishes and colored pages. And Maureen is baking tomorrow. I was going to bake tonight, but she's making a Reese's, some kind of Reese's thing, so I'm assuming that's peanut butter and chocolate. And we all do not need large servings of something that's sweet. Yeah, look at that. I guess it's a good idea. You know, I'm going to have to look it up because I haven't seen anybody online using plastics to poke into, so I got to see what they are. I'm walking with you. All right. I could use the exercise. Stay there. All right. So it's windy. If it's windy, how do you hear me when you're walking? Am I on your AirPods or, because you don't wear hearing aids like I do, right? I can listen to my phone with my hearing aids. As long as Bluetooth is working, which has not been real cooperative this week, I can tell you. It's been like either one or the other that goes in, it goes out. I thought it was my hearing aids. And actually, that's why I got a second set of hearing aids last year. I thought it was the problem I was having was indicative of my hearing aids getting old. And I had the credit to get another set, so I got them. And then I thought, you know what, I should just wear these till they die, because who knows what kind of insurance we're going to have the next year. This year, at least, they did drop the amount for hearing aids, so I'm covered. I've got a brand new set of hearing aids just waiting to get charged up and used. Because you know how they are. The price goes up and the amount that gets covered by insurance goes down. And as it is, I have to settle for the mid-range quality at best. Now they make these really fancy ones. I would say they're not fancy so much, they're just better than what I have. Because, you know, things get improved over time. But they're like $5,000. And the problem with hearing aids is they don't last forever. They only last 2 or 3 years to begin with. So, you know, if you've got the extra $5,000-6,000, when I got my first hearing aids, they were $3,000. And that was for the mid-range. Nothing fancy, nothing really bad. And I wore them until they died, and actually one got lost. I flipped it off my ear with my hat string. Never found it. It matched my car. But now, a decent pair, I mean like better qualities, you're looking at $6,000 and up. And the real fancy ones don't take insurance. That's considered third party. They only take your money or your credit. They're willing to put it on your credit card. Earbuds, cool. Do you have the same problem that I have? Intermittent Bluetooth? Hey, come back here. Ow! Oh, I did it. Where did I cut it? Oh, yeah, I did cut it. Okay. The side of my finger. Well, I better hurry because I'll probably bleed on something. I probably just wash that right now. I'll be right back. Oh, it's gotten dark out. Okay. Let me get a little boo-boo tape. You know how I say I've been on the edge of fame my whole life? Never famous myself, but I've always been around people who were famous. Well, I lived next door to the guy who invented this part. And when he invented this, it wasn't for Band-Aid Company. It wasn't Johnson & Johnson. They bought it later. It was for Curad. I haven't seen Curad in I don't know how long. Oh, these are such clumsy things here. Oh well, we just have to last until I'm done with this. It's not bad. Just annoying. Especially because I took these out to wear and I did not put them on. Kind of nice to have this wispy color. You can achieve that easily with the wet felting technique. One thing I do like about the wet technique, no pens. You do not stab yourself. You play with soap and water. It's more of a squashy adventure than a sharp one. I am on the corner of and Kamehameha. Oh, I wish you could say that where I could hear it. And are you going to take a picture and let me see? Because I would need to go to Google Earth and track you down that way. And I'm not able to do that right now. What do you see? Anything really pretty? Curate is $1. Well, that's good to know. I liked their Band-Aids. I was fine with them. I have not seen them at Walmart in a while, and the problem with my insurance, if I order online and use my insurance card, it only covers stuff that you can get at Walmart. Which is why United Healthcare sucks. Well, one of the many reasons they suck. This will be my last year with them. And next year I decided to avoid any of those insurance companies and just get what I have to for Medicare and leave it at that. I stayed with them this year so I could make sure that other things were in line before I change. But they're having AI go over claims, which means a lot of people are getting denied on top of the budget cuts that Trump's people put in. It cut over 50,000 people off insurance altogether. Is that, oh, Dollar Tree? Okay. You know, I'm not sure what we have. We've got two different dollar stores. And I can't even tell you what the logo looks like right now. I just know that both of them have dollar. And which one I go to depends on which side of town I have just gotten a ride to. Okay. Tear up a small tuft of teal wool. Needle it near the base of the leaf. So basically, everything is supposed to get a little bit of this, and then use this to wind them all together. Really, it looks like they can go together right there. Come on. Yeah, I'll put the teal in the center. Let's see how this goes. I like the Dollar Tree and they stick well. I think that Rest Assured brand is good too. Oh, I haven't noticed. I don't usually need too many Band-Aids, although my new hobby may require an investment. Well, this is clearly bigger. Or this is too small. Well, it's going to take some practice to get accurate with this. Okay, that's the bottom layer. And I have to make 3 more like this, with each one getting a little smaller until I can sew them together like that. bit too. I tend not to go with expensive brands for things I'm just going to fly through. Okay, that should go a little further in. I'm going to use a little bit more of this. Maybe. Okay. I'll pull you in just a little bit. Now, doing needle felting is also a way to make decorations for your finished felting, wet felting projects. So I saw some of that being done in demonstrations too, so that was fun and interesting. Well, this is definitely getting destroyed. All of this is popping the bubbles in the foam itself and making this really soft. So we're going to need to get something better than these little freebies. All right. Well, it's certainly not perfect, or even what I would call good, but it is for a first time attempt at this. Okay. Good move. Yeah, I think I'm going to look into the tool that has, like, I don't know, it looks like 6 needles in one. That would come in handy for this kind of thing. Okay, we are done for the day. Now to the post office across the street from go. Oh, see, that's nice and convenient. That's lovely. Okay, let's put the stuff back here. We'll put this in the correct place. We'll develop good habits from the start. And you are dangerous as hail. Uh-oh. There we go. we go. All right, well, now I know how to use this, and it comes with a bunch of blades of different sizes, and conveniently in a little carrying case. All right, little leather fingers. Yes. Stage 1. Tomorrow afternoon we'll see what we can do. I will take a picture of this and send it to my friend so she can see I have begun. Do you want me to stay with you while you're at the post office? Are you going to mail something or pick something up? Take some bird's eye view pictures. Like, this is what it looks like when I'm going to the store. Okay, now, I don't have but a small bag for this stuff to get jammed back into. All right, for now. When you see how far a little bit of this goes, you want to take care of it, all of it, because it's pretty amazing. Now, looking at the pattern, it looks like I will have leftover purple. I won't have leftover pink or blue or green. But that's okay, because should I run out, I actually have some extra wool from the other set I got. So what we need to research is felting blocks. So this is going to eventually sit on that, and the rest of it is built and can sit on that. Although I don't know who would want this. I see this and I go, ooh, I could finish that off and make it a candle holder, except we don't do that. We're not allowed to have candles lit in our apartments anymore. No, we did not have a fire from a candle. But it's in the new rules. So what I did was I made sure all my candle holders have LED lights in them, and when I need to light a prayer candle, I use a real candle. But they're tea lights, so also I'm very safe. I grew up with fear of fire, so I shouldn't say fear of fire. Respect. A great deal of respect for fire. Also, I like it. All right, let's see our new carrying case. And I won't need that one anymore. Let's see, Maui, did you just send pictures? You did. Oh, and Gary, you did too. Oh, nice clouds. Yeah, it does look windy. Look at those palm trees. Cool. All right, Gary, let's take a look at you. Oh, you sent me the game picture. Oh, that's pretty cool. Aww. So this here is a scene from your hotel. And Minu sleeping. Oh, what kind of tree is that? Oh, wow, no, I should know that. What the hell is that? The flowers look kind of like a mallow, but that's not it. Oh, it looks like roses. Those are roses? Well, I guess they are. Look at the leaves. Beautiful. It's nice to meet you. I'm hunkering down on this island today in full vacation mode. Yeah, sounds good. And then we have a little Mike Johnson here. I'm sorry, Gary. I know you don't have a round head, so cute. A lava lamp in the kitchen too. That's cool. Fun. Yeah, we can't do incense either. No incense, no live candles. We have no on a lot of things. Oh, no businesses. You can't work online. So technically, I could not work for Twitch and accept money. How's that? That should not exist for seniors who are living on the edge. We should be able to earn some money. We have to report it anyway. We have to pay taxes like everybody else. Okay, let's take a look. All right, here's our new felt workshop in a bag. Da-da-da. And because I didn't make this bag that was for people carrying makeup and stuff, it's got a little mirror in it, which I don't need right now, but hey, that could be handy some other time. All right, we have a zipper for that. We have, so this is going to sit on top. We've got this that can also sit on top. Anything else I have to shove in here? No, that's good. Okay. I can just zip it up. And now I am set for I don't know, this whole thing is very weird. This whole thing just kind of comes apart and like folds out. But some stuff just doesn't seem to make sense. Like they did some, well, we'll throw a zipper here for the hell of it. Like, okay, weird people. And there's two ways to hold it. It is nicely made. Whose brand is this? American Flyer. American Flyer. I think that's a famous brand, isn't it? American Flyer. Okay, so this is really practical and I don't need it, but if I was traveling, you can undo the Velcro and lock that in there to hold those together. But you also have the shoulder straps. I'm ready to do needle felting anywhere. But we're gonna cut that out for now. It's time to catch up on my water. Oh, my soap. This is special, 100% coconut oil Castile soap. And soap is necessary for working with the wet method. So we're gonna toss that in there right now. It's not set up for a plastic bag, so we'll just shove it in there until tomorrow. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. And everybody who I don't know and has been hanging out, thank you. We'll continue on this project. That's so weird. It's strangely strong. I'm sure I could pull it apart because I could make this way flatter. As a matter of fact, I could pour hot water on it and make it, but we're not going to do anything like that until everything is done and I can see what we need to do left. I did learn that if you, when you do wet felting, after all the soap, you need to soak it in a water with some vinegar, and that brings the sheen back to the wool. Take the green wool that you set aside and fold the edges toward the middle. Gently needle it to form a rough ball shape. That goes on the bottom. The ball shape goes on the bottom of this, so the ball can get stuffed into that little hole. Good to know. We will do that. That's like one of the last things you do. Okay, my darlings. Have a wonderful evening. Tomorrow we'll do more of this, most likely, but also I need to do another couple of paintings to get out next week. We've got Valentine's Day coming up soon, and no, I don't need a Valentine, but our old people that we care about, we're sending them Valentine's notes to cheer them up. They're in nursing homes, so they're more lonely and need company, and I don't care. I have you. So until tomorrow,